Reticulocyte count. So we will discuss about today about the reticulocyte count. Let's start. What is retic count? So the reticulocyte, they are the juvenile red blood cells, or you can say the young red blood cells, or the immature red blood cells. So this when you remember the stages of erythropoiesis, initially and the stages of normoblast, the nucleus is present. While in the reticulocyte, that is immediate precursor of the red blood cells, the nucleus is not present, but the remnants of the mRNA and the ribosome, that are present in the cytoplasm of the precursor cell of the reticular cell. They are still present. So you can say reticulocyte cell, it contains the ribosomes and the mRNA that are the, or the RNA that are the present in the cytoplasm of the precursor cell. And this remnants, when we stain this cell with supravital stain, these remnants, they form the structure like the reticulum, which appear purple in color, and that's why the name of this cell, that is the reticulocyte cell. So this was the basic introduction of the reticulocyte cell. Again, reticulocyte, they are the juvenile red blood cells or the young red blood cells. Now what is the difference? What is the difference between this immature red blood cell and the mature RBC? So this reticulocyte, when obviously if you remember the erythropoiesis, this reticulocyte, they has the presence of ribosome and the RNA, so they can still synthesize the hemoglobin, and they are bigger in size as compared to the RBC. They spend 1 to 2 days in the bone marrow, then enter into the circulation, remain in the circulation for the 24 hours, and then mature into the RBC. While the RBC, that are smaller in size as compared to the reticulocyte, or they does not contain the any reticulum material, so they does not contain the any ribosomal or the RNA type of the content, and RBC itself, they will not synthesize the hemoglobin. So these are the 3 points that differentiate between the reticulocyte and the red blood cell. Now what next we will do, that is the maturity of the reticulocyte cells. So when we make the smear, or when we take the blood sample, so the reticulocyte, which we will see under the microscope, all the reticulocyte which we observe, they are not of same level of maturity. If the reticulocyte we have seen, it is most immature, then it will be some larger amount of reticulum, as well as some size of that reticulocyte cell is somewhat larger as compared to the least immature reticulocyte cell. So the most immature reticulocyte cell, it contains a large amount of reticulum and larger in size, and the least immature retic cell, it has a small amount of reticulum and the small in size. Now the indications of the reticulocyte count. Why we are doing this retic count? Not only for retic count, whenever you do any procedure or any practical or any examination, first thing that why we are doing this procedure, after completion of this procedure or the examination, which I will find, right, in which conditions I have to perform this. So these was about the indications why, when we need to perform this retic count. So when the patients of anemia come to the clinic, and when we give any therapy, when we give any treatment for anemia, so if we want to know that the person is responding or not before some findings, so in that case, if we do retic count, we can see that reticulocyte count is increased, right? That is known as a reticulocyte response. So by that we can know that the person is responding to the treatment. So to observe the therapeutic response, that is one indication. The whenever do we smear, the again there is a hemolytic anemia. In hemolytic anemia, even though patient is not receiving the treatment, as a part of compensatory mechanism, our erythropoietic activity is increased and the reticulocyte count will be increased. The third indication is to differentiate between the different type of jaundice. If while it is a prehepatic jaundice, or the hepatic jaundice, or the post-hepatic jaundice. If it is a prehepatic jaundice, So again finding will be different in the post hepatic jaundice and the pre hepatic jaundice. In pre hepatic jaundice, again there is a more hemolysis. If there is a more hemolysis inside the body, so erythropoietic activity will be increased and the increase the reticulocyte count. So by that way you can differentiate the type of jaundice. And the fourth, in some pathological condition like in the lead poisonous condition, I can say, so the lead poisoning, in which in a retic stain you will see the punctate basophilia. So inside the retic cell you will see the like the granules which we similar to seen in the basophils. That's why we call it as a punctate basophilia. So you can diagnose the lead poisoning by performing this by making the smear for the retic count. So this was about the indications. Now how we will stain this retic cells? Here I have special discussion too for the staining of the retic cell, because it is stained by the supravital stains, or we can say the vital staining. Now what do you mean by vital staining? So these stains penetrate the cell only in the living state of that cell. So once we make the smear, the cell once we make the smear, the cell become dead, or there is a physical damage to the cell happens, and after that this dye cannot, or this stain cannot enter inside the cell, or and cannot penetrate the cell. So the vital staining means you have to uh, stain or you have to stain that particular cell before the fixation of the that smear. Okay, so this basically the supravital stain means how we have to stain the cell before the fixation. While the Romanowski stain, that is a different type, another type of stain which we use in the physiology practicals. So like the Leishman stain. So this type of stains contain the acidic dye as well as the basic dye, and this dye, they will penetrate the cell only after the fixation. So that is the basic difference between the supravital stain and the Romanowski stain. Supravital stain, they penetrate the cell before the fixation, while the Romanowski stain, they stain the cell after the fixation. So this is the basic difference between two. Now which are the supravital stains? So the supravital stains are two. One is the brilliant crescent blue and another one is the new methylene blue. The brilliant crescent blue, if we compare this two stain, then the brilliant new methylene blue is superior to the brilliant crescent blue, because it gives the more deep staining. Now the procedure of the reticulocyte count. So for procedure of reticulocyte count, I have made a video for the procedure of the reticulocyte count. So I will play that video and you can see how the procedure of reticulocyte count is done. After the complete of the procedure, we have make the smear. Whenever we make the smear, we will first examine the smear under the low power objective to see the uniform distribution of the cell, and we will see we can also locate the part of the smear in which there is a thin portion of the smear, or the proper distribution of the cells. Here you can say that these are the red blood cells. Here are also the red blood cells. This one these are the red blood cells. This is not a reticulocyte cell, this is an artifact. Here are the red blood cells. In second field, you can see the different red blood cells are there. You can see here there is a reticulocyte may be present, and after the selecting the field, we will put the oil. We will put the oil and rotate the revolving pace of this microscope and rotate it to the oil immersion objective, and we will examine the slide under the oil immersion lens or the 100x lens. So enumerate the reticulocyte and the red cells in each field and count minimum 1000 cells. So the minimum 10 field is required, and the counting is easier if the microscopic field is reduced. Now identification of the reticulocyte, though they are larger than the RBC and they contain the reticulum in the cell that is a purple in color. Here you can say, so you can see that the reticulum sites, two reticulocyte cells are present. This one is one, this one is the second, and the rest of these are the RBCs. So in one microscopic field, we have find the two reticulocyte cells. Here that is the second microscopic field. Here we have seen the one reticulocyte. In the third microscopic field, we have seen the three reticulocyte cells, and the rest are the RBCs. So here the observation we have done, that is the number of the microscopic field we have observed. So here I have seen the 10 microscopic field, and the number of the reticular cells in each field we will mention here. Like in one microscopic field, I have found the 2, like this. Okay. Here I have found the 1 reticulocyte count and the RBCs. Here I have found the 3 reticulocyte cells. So you can say 2, 1 and 3. And the number of RBC in relation to the reticulocyte count, it is 100. In one microscopic field, average 100 RBC usually present. If it is more crowded, you can accordingly count. If it may be that in one field there are 150 RBCs may be present, or it may be 70 or 90 RBCs may be present. So number of reticulocyte cells we have counted total in 10 field is 12, and number of the RBCs, that is 100. This is the formula of reticulocyte count, or we can say relative reticulocyte count. So for the relative reticulocyte count, the value it is in the percentage. Here the number of reticular cells counted, that is 12. Number of RBC counted, that is 1000 multiplied by 100. So the relative reticulocyte count, that is 1.2%. Here the same repetition, reticulocyte count, relative reticulocyte count, number of counted upon total number of RBC counted multiplied by 100. So here our value is 1.2. Now how much is the normal values of the relative reticulocyte count? It is a more acceptable and the more uniform value, uniform value, that is the relative reticulocyte count. In adult it is present is 0.2 to 2%. In infants it is higher, 2 to 6%. In newborn it is much more higher, that is 30 to 50%. And at the end of 1 week, in the newborn baby, at the end of 1 week, it is decreased drastically. The percentage of the reticulocyte actually reflect the erythropoietic activity, right? Obviously erythropoiesis is more, the reticulocyte count is more. Now what is reticulocytosis and what is reticulocytopenia? Whenever the word cytosis means increase in particular cell, here reticulocyte, if there is a erythrocyte, then erythrocytosis. If it is a leukocyte, so leukocytosis. So the increase in the cells, so the increase in reticulocyte count, it is known as a reticulocytosis. The physiological, it is present in the newborn. We have seen in newborn it is much higher. In high attitude, because the erythropoietic activity is higher. During the menstruation, because there is a blood loss is there, so as a part of protective mechanism, erythropoietic activity is increased. In pathological, all anemias, in pathological condition, in hemorrhage, in hemolytic anemias, and the thalassemias, in which the erythropoietic activity is more, right? Then reticulocytopenia, that is a decrease in the reticulocyte count. So there is no physiological condition in which there is a reticulocytopenia, right? Except the bone marrow activity itself is less. So that is the aplastic anemia or the myxedema, in which the overall suppression of this bone marrow activity. So there are no physiological cause for the reticulocytopenia. Now the absolute reticulocyte count. The absolute reticulocyte count, in which you require the relative reticulocyte or the reticulocyte percentage, and the RBC count. Here the RBC count is not in microscopic field, but here the RBC count you have to count it with help of the hemocytometer. It means with use of the improved Neubauer's chamber and the RBC pipette and the diluting fluid, and the so with help of hemocytometry you have to find the RBC count divided by 100. So here your value, it will be in per cubic mm of the blood or per mm cube of blood, and the equivalent unit of cubic mm, that is a microliter of the blood. Okay, so normal value of this absolute reticulocyte count, that is at 20,000 to 50,000 per cubic mm of the blood or the microliter of the blood. So this was about the reticulocyte count all. Remember relative reticulocyte count and the absolute reticulocyte count. Okay, so thank you so much.